Cruising with the Stars is brought to you by Tony West Entertainments. Hello there, great to be with you, and a very warm welcome to Cruising with the Stars with me, Debbie Jones. Now, today, I have a magician and mentalist with me. His name is McCoy, and he's fascinating because he's done such a lot of different things. But you didn't see that in the future, did you, Ian? No. Doing all of that. Lovely to have you with us today.
Great to be here.
And a magician and a mentalist.
Yes.
That really sounds quite otherworldly, and as if you have always been interested in things behind that secret veil. Well, how old were you when you first got interested into that?
I was about 10 or 11 years old. Yeah. Yes. I always remember seeing, I was in Ireland actually.
Yeah.
My mum and dad, that mum thing is in America, isn't it?
My mum.
So my mum and dad are from Ireland, and I remember my first family holiday with my brother and sister.
Yeah.
And a great uncle basically just got me to one side and showed me something with a dice and a pack of cards, and that was it. I was hooked. And
you were hooked. Well, people love it. We're just going to take a very quick look, just a couple of seconds, at people's faces when they see him performing for them. It's a kind of magic. One shot of light that shows the way. No mortal man can win this day. Okay, sorry, the camera caught me like this, because I had the same sort of reaction. Do you really get off on that?
I think that's what a magician lives for.
Yes.
To create that sense of wonder in another person's mind.
Yes.
The downside, of course, is as you give the sense of wonder to somebody else, you lose it yourself.
Oh, you miserable devil. Well, but when you say you give the sense of wonder, what you're doing is your job, your act is working, working brilliantly well.
Yes.
Doesn't that make you just feel wonderful?
Yes, it does make you feel, you never get tired of it, really. Yeah. And if you talk to any of my family and friends, not family so much, because they don't really want to see what magic I do, but friends and stuff, you know, they'll say, I will always, even if I'm not working, you know, if I'm asked, I would never impose it, but if I'm asked, I'll always perform.
Oh, that's lovely. I mean, I am a great fan of magic tricks and everything. I absolutely love it. And here, when you came into the studio here, it said, I was looking at the bio here, which is very impressive indeed, and it said, Ian McCoy is a master magician and mentalist, a motivational speaker and teacher, a published author, a musician, a singer-songwriter, a writer and journalist. He's got degrees in history and politics, postgrad in education and theology. I mean, and I said to him, what is it that you want to be billed as today? What is it you want to be known as? And it's a master.
Mainly as a magician and mentalist.
And a mentalist.
If I summed up everything, I could sum up everything I do in 3 words. Yeah. Magic, music, education.
Lovely, lovely. And how long were you a teacher for?
I was full-time about 4 years.
Yes.
And then when I emigrated, which we'll probably get into a bit later, when I emigrated to the States, as a backup, I got my California credential as well. So you have to have a totally different California one? My credentials from England were very well respected, which they are all over the world, but you still needed an American teaching in order to teach. So I got that within the first 12 months as a backup to my entertaining. Well, I tell you what, you've got a list of qualifications and clever things as long as you're on. What we're going to do now, and we're just going to take a look at him performing. With a book and some thoughts, okay? So maybe just use the 2 girls for this. Would you think of an author that you like to read? Don't tell me who it is, please. Just think about a few. When you decide on one, just say you've got one in your head. No, that's fine. Now, Jenny, this is just a regular paperback, okay? I'm going to go through very, very slowly. I'll look away, and as I go through, you make sure that all the words you see are different, okay? Yeah?
Yeah.
Now this time I'll go through again, but this time I want you to say stop anyway.
Stop.
Look at the first word on this page, but don't tell me what it is.
Yeah.
Are you happy with that word?
I am, yes.
Okay, just think of that word for me. I'll try and get a feel for it, okay? Excellent. Right, Diane, have you settled on someone yet?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, just think of the author. Do you know what this person looks like? An idea? If you don't, it doesn't matter. No. But you've got the. Can you think of the name in terms of words then for me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I get an impression that might be close, or certainly there's the right genre. Okay, I'll get back to that in a second. Now, because there's a few of us here, I'm going to ask you to think of your word that you from the book. Not just yet. I've made my commitment now, just so, we've got a few people watching. For their benefit, it doesn't matter if I hear now who is the author.
Nora Roberts.
Nora Roberts, that's right. She's a local author, isn't she? Yeah, I thought so. Jenny, could you think of that word for me? In your head, just count the number of letters. I'm closing my eyes, so if you want to use your fingers, you can. I won't look. Just get the letters. Okay, I'm going with 8, 7 or 8. I'm going to go with 8. I think it's about 8 letters. You don't have to answer, react to that, but I think it's about 8 letters. I think it's quite a middle-sized word. Does it begin with a P?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, that's my commitment there as well. Okay. Now, obviously, we haven't arranged anything tonight, have we?
No.
We'll go with the word first. What word were you thinking of?
Pleading.
Pleading. The word is pleading. And I was thinking of a local author as well. And I was actually right. Who did you say?
Nora Roberts.
Nora Roberts.
Okay.
Wow. Well, that worked well. Thank you, ladies.
Very well. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Just a little example of the work of Ian McCoy. That was quite fascinating, because as an entertainer myself, I can see performance there. But we've all got an idea of what magic is and magic tricks.
Yes.
But what about mentalism? What is a mentalist?
A mentalist is a person, usually a man, or a woman, who...
Now you're saying usually a man.
Yes,
there.
in magic and mentalism,
is it mainly,
99% of people are men.
Right.
I've only met one professional lady magician in my life working. Yeah. In my working time, when I was in Las Vegas, but
nearly all
it's
men.
All men. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably because women aren't hard-faced to lie, isn't it?
There's been many theories about why that is, actually. So it might be a power thing, I don't know. But get back to your question.
Yeah.
It's a related art to magic in the sense that we create a psychological illusion. And the psychological illusion is that we're reading minds. Right. Predicting the future. Yeah. And I suppose it takes the art form away from the impossible, which is what a magician aims to do. Yeah. Of course he's doing it, so it's possible, but in the minds of the audience, what the magician does should seem absolutely impossible. Yeah. When you move into mentalism, you're getting into the area of very unlikely, very unlikely, but possible. Yes. Because everyone's heard of what psychics do. Yes. And there's a massive industry around the psychic
well, is that what a lot
industry.
of... I mean, I'm not asking you to diss clairvoyance or psychics.
Oh, I don't mind doing that.
Right, so well, this is what I was going to ask. Is what you do, in fact, what a lot of psychics and clairvoyants do?
Some of it is. A mentalist is a lot more accurate. And
really?
Yes, because if you go to any psychic, they'll always deal with generalities. Yeah. And they'll be fishing for stuff. If you look at people like Jonathan Edwards over in the States, or Colin, I can't remember Colin, the second name.
Colin Fry.
Is that his name? Yeah.
I think so.
When they're in front of an audience, they're fishing all the time. I'm getting a David who's passed over, and they're fishing for information. So they use that, and they use something called cold reading. Now, cold reading is something mentalists always use.
Yeah.
But it's the only thing that psychics use. The thing about a mentalist is he also has allied to that a study of psychology, of NLP very often.
What's NLP?
Neuro-linguistic programming,
right.
which is a fancy way of talking about eye movements.
Right.
A lot of detectives use these in terms of finding out whether people are lying or telling the truth and that sort of thing. Yeah. So there's also that, but a mentalist very often has been into magic earlier.
Right.
So they have trickery, psychology, and all these other things to create an illusion. Well,
basically, I mean, we've got to take a little break now. So you've mastered all of those, and we're going to be back with you in just a minute to sample some more magic. Cruising with the Stars is brought to you by Tony West Entertainments. Cruising with the Stars is brought to you by Tony West Entertainments. Hi there, welcome back. Today I'm chatting to Ian McCoy, who is a magician and a mentalist, amongst many, many other things. And quite a fascinating man, if I may say, Ian.
Well, thank you.
Right, this mentalism, mind reading, and you say use the NLP and read people's eyes.
Yes,
is there
sometimes.
Well, is there something that you could do with me now to demonstrate this?
Sure.
Right, okay.
Well, remember, as again I said, we're moving into the very unlikely rather than the impossible.
Yeah.
So I'd like you just to think of any number for me between, say, 10 and 12. No, 10 and 1,000. So you've got 900 possibilities.
Right.
It could be personal to you.
Yeah.
It could be part of a number that you know, or it could just be random. I don't really care.
Right. Any number
between 10 and 1,000.
1,000.
If you made it, to make it more difficult, 3 digits would make it more difficult for me. 3 digits. Good.
Right.
So just in your head.
Okay.
Have you got that?
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, with mentalism, I'd like you to... I want you to write the number down on the notepad. Yeah. Don't show me, and then we'll close it and put the band around it. And the reason why I'm asking you to do that is because, believe it or not, people actually change their minds halfway through it.
No.
And it ruins it. It's completely.
Of course it
will. But also, it will, it'll...
Right. So I'm going to write this.
Don't let me see.
Right. Just I'm letting my friend watching know.
Don't let me see.
What I'm going to do. Well, I say my friend, all of you, you're all my friends. I'm going to write it, and then I'll hold it up to the camera. Right. So do I write it on that little piece of sticky paper?
Yeah, that's fine.
Right, okay, here we go.
Nice and bold. And if it's 3-figure, that would be making it a bit more interesting. If it's 2-figure, that's fine as well.
Right. Can you see that? Can you zoom in on that? Yeah, you can see what that is? He can't. Right, yes, Dan's just said it in my...
Could you just close that
Right,
over?
Close it, and you're going to give me a
just put the
elastic band. Come here, give me the elastic band. I'm not letting you anywhere near it. Can I double band it? No, I'll leave it single banded.
Yeah.
I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Right, double banded. Right, do you want the pen back? Right,
sure.
Okay.
That's how I got it, anyway.
Right, what's
Okie dokie. I want you to relax now and try not to give me any signs of what you thought of. Okay. So there's actually no such thing as mind reading. I mean, we do call it mind reading. It's more like sort of body language reading and a lot of other things as well. So if I say poker face, you know what I mean?
I do.
Because people give things away.
I am a very nice woman, and I will be heartbroken if I'm the first person on pan-European television that you get it wrong. I'll feel so guilty.
It's okay.
I'll feel so guilty.
But the thing about mentalism is it's not like magic.
Right.
Mistakes are made and it's acceptable.
Right, fair enough.
Because it's not about doing the impossible.
Okay,
It's about doing the very unlikely.
Yes.
Okay, so just let's think about it without reacting. Keep your blank face. Is it 1, 2, 3, 1, 1? Is it 2 or is it 3? Okay.
Are we talking about numbers?
I am just asking you to keep a poker face and not say a thing.
All right, okay.
1-digit number, 2-digit number, 3-digit number. Don't say anything.
Okay.
It's a 2-digit number, 3-digit number. Okay, I'm getting it now. Think of the first digit. Don't say anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Think of the second digit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Think of the third digit. 1, 2... No third digit. 71.
Holy camoly! Can I open this up and show you?
Sure, I mean...
Oh, that's good. That's good. Look. 71. That. Now, I am impressed.
Thank you.
I am impressed. I'm having a hot flush. That was fabulous.
Thank you.
Oh, Dan, wasn't that good? That was good. That shut Dan up in his little box in the corner. That was fantastic. That was really good.
Yeah, mentalism is something I've been very much into for about the last 10 years, I'd say. Whereas up to about 10 years ago, it was more like sleight of hand magic, which I still love and still do.
Yeah.
I do. Still love doing card magic, for example. And maybe I could show you some.
Well, we'll do
stage,
some in a minute. But what we're going to do,
now.
we're going to take just a quick look at another clip of you while I recover from the excitement.
We have a hand, right?
Yep.
And then we have a ball. Okay. Can you see it?
No.
It's actually a fuzzball. 1, 2, that's 2, 3, and in one go they all go back there. Okay, I'm going to explain how to get each coin into the corner magically. Now, how they move is like this. If I go like this, you actually, you can see it go. Same with this one here. If I actually go like this, you can actually see it go. However, if I do it in fast motion, you actually don't see it move. Taking that one stage further, let's see, if I take one coin and bring it over here, bring that down there and that down there, in one clean movement I can get them all over here like that.
McCoy working his sleight of hand there, and that beautiful music that was underneath that. You played the guitar on it. How lovely, and that's dedicated to your uncle and your dad who
my dad and my
away.
uncle who passed away in the same week.
Oh dear me.
And that wasn't that long after I returned from the States, to be honest. So we're going back 5 or 6 years, 6 years, and I just made I had a promotional video from the States, but I needed to update it. And I dedicated the central part to my dad and my uncle.
That's a lovely, beautiful guitarist as well. But as a musician, I mean, you've travelled the world. You really have. You've been all over the world to amaze your audiences. If you had to pick your very favourite show that you've ever performed, where would that be?
Oh, wow. So it's difficult to pinpoint because there's so many. But in terms of memorable shows, there was I did a show in San Francisco, and I shared the stage with Robin Williams for 2 hours.
Wow.
2 hours, which was an amazing experience. I mean, I'm not really a hero worshipper, but I've really admired Robin Williams from a very early age. To get to be on stage with him for 2 hours non-stop was an experience.
Why were you on stage with him for 2 hours? What were you doing?
There was a charity event in San Francisco, and one of my corporate clients who I did a number of shows for his wife was organising the charity event and asked me to perform. In fact, asked me not just to perform, to present the whole event as a presenter and a magician. And it was to raise money for a school. Right. But it was a very prestigious school in San Francisco. Yeah. And basically I had to auction off very prestigious prizes like holidays abroad, antique. I was told it was the rich and powerful of San Francisco were all in the audience. Right. Whether it be from industry or movies or entertainment. But it was all for charity. It was all for charity, and I was on stage for 3 hours, auctioning and performing. Yeah. And I got a call to say that from one of Robin Williams' PA to say that he would be joining me on stage a couple of days before the event. Yeah. And I was quite excited about this. And sure enough, an hour into the show, he pops on stage, and we're expecting him to stay on for 10, 15 minutes. He stayed on for the whole how super. Thing. What was he like? Is he as mad as a brush as he is? He is. On stage, he's very, like a lot of performers, he's very animated. I think that's a understatement about Robin Williams. It's difficult to keep up with him, really, but I didn't really hang out with him afterwards, but I've been told he's quite quiet. Off stage, he's quite quiet. A lot of comedians are, aren't they, really? Yeah. I mean, I might as well give my my mate a plug here. Stevie Ricks over on the Wirral is probably the most watched internet entertainer in the UK. Stevie Ricks. He's the finest impressionist in the UK. Yeah. He's done some television, he's been on a couple of shows, but he's never... There's a big campaign for him to get his own show. Get him on here. Oh, get him on here. Stevie's unbelievable. No, but there's another... I mentioned Stevie, not just to give him a plug, because he's one of the finest entertainers in the UK. Yeah. He actually is a very quiet lad. When he's not on the stage. When he's not on the stage. He's lovely, but when he's on the stage, he's But with Robin Williams, as I say, it was great to be on stage with him. Luckily, it was filmed, so I have footage of
Wonderful.
that. There's some footage of that, which
help your CV for the rest of your life. One of the things I wanted to ask you, you've also written a book, Magic in the Centre. You're an author of a book, Magic in the Centre, and it gives your take on the views of what you call real magic. Yes. What was the motivation? What inspired you to write this book?
I think in one phrase I'd call it spiritual development, really. Yeah. Roman Catholic, atheist by the time I was 19. Yeah. Rampant atheist, Marxist through university. Yeah. Agnostic in my late 20s, early 30s. Yeah. And then back to being a theist in my 30s through... think about
theist or atheist?
Theist.
Theist.
A believer in God.
Right, okay.
So I went full circle, really, over a period of 15, 20 years. But the thing is, I'm an avid reader anyway. I love reading history, and I love reading theology and philosophy and that sort of thing. Yeah. One thing about being an entertainer is often daytimes there's a lot of hours to fill. Yeah. Yeah. And I used to read a lot.
But what about, it says it's your take on views of what you call real magic. So what do you think is real magic? What's the book about? Is it about magic? Is it about tricks? Is it a philosophical, a theological book?
It's mainly philosophical and theological, and it brings in some history and science as well. Yeah. And it uses magic tricks as a metaphor for deeper issues. Right. So magic in the centre, to me, is the soul. Yes. And every tradition for East and West, from Hindu, Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, all the faith traditions have this concept of a magic in the centre or a soul that is somehow connected to something bigger than itself. Right. Oh, I see. So it's looking for that little bit of magic in all of us. That's right, yes. Right. Well, listen, we'll be back in just a minute. Please do keep it here. Cruising with the Stars is brought to you by Tony West Entertainments. Cruising with the Stars is brought to you by Tony West Entertainments. Hi there, welcome back. Today I'm chatting to magician and mentalist, amongst many other things, Ian McCoy. Ian, you've got something you're going to show us now. Sure. In terms of mentalism, it's something we call a book test. Yeah. And there's many different ways of doing this. I've got 4 books here.
Yeah.
And we'll just use this one for now. As I look away, Deb, can you just look at the book as I look away?
Right,
just look over here, make sure all the words...
I'm looking at the book, yeah.
Are all the words different that are flying past?
Oh, yeah, it's just
totally normal,
an ordinary
right?
book.
Now, this time I'll go through again, so 200 odd pages. This time, you just say stop any way you want.
Stop.
Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Could you look at this first word for me? You can take the book, and remember the first word,
right.
I'll look away.
Now, what I'm going to do now, can I shut the book?
You can shut the book if you want.
Right, but I'm going to write the first word to show my friends.
Okay, that's fine. That's
right,
fine.
there it is. Oh, here, I'll give you the book back while I write the word.
Keep it closed, I don't want to see it anymore.
Right, no, it's closed,
okay.
it's closed. Right.
Write down
Here's
the word.
the word. Hope I can
Don't show
spell
me.
it. Right, hang on a minute. It is.
Now, as you're doing that...
Don't listen, though, because you might be able to hear.
Well, believe it or not, that is a technique we use. That's why I'm talking, because
right,
people at
okay.
home... People
so
at home... I'm trying to look away here.
Can you all look here?
People at home.
Can you see it?
Okay.
Right.
And put that so I can't see it, please.
Right. Right.
Well, we can get back to that in a second.
We can get back, okay.
I've got a couple of other books here.
Yeah.
Just choose one.
I'll choose Eeny Meeny, that one.
Okay, hold it face down.
Yeah.
Like this. Like I'll show you how. Like
Go
this. Hold it face down like this.
I don't even know what it's called. I haven't looked at it.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
And just
hold it.
open it anywhere. Open it
anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I've opened it.
Actually,
somewhere.
close it again for me.
Closed it.
I want you to go like this. Make sure there are no breaks
right.
there. And open it sort of. I'm not saying open it in the middle, but don't sort of middle-ish.
Okay.
Middle-ish.
Right.
And then when you've opened it, I don't want to look.
Now, can I look in it?
You look in now.
Right.
Look at the pages now.
Yeah.
And just quickly look at the page numbers, but don't tell me.
Yeah.
And close the book.
Right.
And that's fine. We'll have.
Shall I write the numbers down as well?
No, that's fine. You don't have to do that. This is a very famous book. Tell them what that is.
Oh, this is Dan Brown, Angels and Demons, which I've read and actually enjoyed it more than the Da Vinci Code.
And so did I.
Yes, I did. No, I did. It was very good.
All you need to do, as I look away again, find the page number in that book that corresponds to the page numbers that you just looked at in the other book.
Right.
But don't tell me.
Right. Hang on. Yes.
Now, in your head, in your mind, just read the first couple of paragraphs. Say, first paragraph.
Of the first page.
Make it the first page. Yeah.
Right. First. Right. In my mind. Okay.
Just read the first paragraph in your head, but don't tell me.
Right.
And stop.
Yeah.
Put the book face down, but still open.
Right.
On your lap, maybe.
This had better be good.
It will be good. Remember the word that you wrote down?
Yeah.
In your head, I'm going to try and guess the amount of letters.
Right.
13. It's a long word. Think of the first letter for me.
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. It's an E.
Yeah.
A, B, C. Think of the whole word, especially the last letter.
Right.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. The last letter's a T. It's a long word.
Yeah.
Come on, I need some encouragement. I need some encouragement here. Can you help me out? I need some encouragement. Is the word encouragement?
Yes, it is. Look at that.
Let me see the book.
No, let me see the book.
Okay. Oh, there it is there. I can see it on the TV screen.
There you go. No, that's just the word to prove you were right.
Now, once more, go back to that first paragraph.
Wow.
Go back to the first paragraph.
Right.
Now read the whole paragraph in your head.
Right, hold on a minute. Yeah.
And close the... Oh, maybe you want to show the audience in a second, but I'm going to tell you now the feel I'm getting for that paragraph. It ties in with what you asked about my book, Magic in the Centre. It's sort of about science and God. And I think what you're saying is I'm getting a picture of a sad lady playing with the hair, and the sad lady's playing with the hair, and she has a name and begins with a V. And what she's doing is she's saying that science and God don't contradict each other. And she's saying that science actually can prove God. And she goes on to say that someone's trying to create an experiment to create Genesis or life from nothing. And a Vittorio I'm getting.
Oh, shall I read it?
Yes.
Vittoria said...
Vittorio, close.
Vittoria said, where science supported the concept of God, she ran a hand through her long hair, looking melancholy. A bit sad, you got it right. He set out to do something no scientist had ever thought to do, something that no one has ever had the technology to do. She paused as though uncertain how to say the next words. He designed an experiment to prove Genesis was possible. Prove Genesis? Langton wondered. Let there be light, matter from nothing.
Thank you.
That was unbelievable. That's so, so clever. Because just think, if I'd have opened that page just
an
encouragement, little bit different, that word encouragement.
That's a long word.
You see,
it's a long word.
That's absolutely mind-bendingly mind-bending.
I think a lot of people enjoy the mentalism even more than the magic.
Oh,
actually.
I do. Yeah. I think. Well, I've never had any mentalism done on me. I find it more fascinating.
Yeah,
even.
I think
and I love the magic.
Yeah,
wow.
I do as well.
Oh, that was absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Now, you appear in a lot of trade shows.
Yes.
So how does the magic and mentalism sort of work in the trade shows?
Well, trade shows, magic and mentalism is perfect for trade shows. Because a trade show booth is basically a shop front. And at a shop front, businesses want people stopping and buying.
Yes.
They need people at the stands. I don't do a lot of these, but I did do one not too long ago in North Wales. It was a big trade show, and it was a 2-day affair, and I ended up on BBC Wales, which was quite interesting. The opening caption to the news showed me performing a trick, which was hilarious, because on the second day I went in, I had no idea, because I live 15 miles away, over the border in the Wirral. Yeah. So we don't get BBC Wales.
No, no.
But it was all over Wales. I didn't see it. A lot of people did see it, and I've been told what it was. It said the trade show in Flintshire, and as the narrator is talking, it opens up with me making a scarf disappear. Yeah. With the word, with the company name on or whatever. And the narrator says, and as the magician makes the scarf disappear, it's a pity the government can't make unemployment disappear. Oh. Which was quite funny.
It was,
But in terms of your first question, a trade show is basically, as I say, like a shop window. And my job is to get people to the shop window. Yeah. Now the thing is, you can't really employ a comedian or a musician or a trade show, but because magic and mentalism has more of an intellectual feel to it, it attracts people to the booth. Yes. So it's a purely business exercise. But the part I love, which I certain with this show, you actually gear your magic and mentalism to the product or service. Right. So you use the logo, the selling points of the company, and build your routines around that. And this particular one I did was for a company called Electrocycle. Yeah. And I spent a couple of hours with the marketing manager and got all the information about their selling points and developed a number of routines around that company. How clever. So it's actually it's an act with attitude. Yeah. Yeah, you know, you have to have the intelligence to make it work and find the unique selling points. Yes. And how clever is that? Yes. Well, I tell you what, if ever I'm selling anything, I'll be in there. Now, you're also, as we heard from your beautiful rendition of the the Mountains of Mourne before on classical guitar, you're an accomplished songwriter, you're an accomplished musician. What have you been working on recently that's rather I was looking
special?
for that. Did I have there down here?
Is it? Okay, yeah. You're all right.
Okay, well, I started in music first.
Yeah.
I was on stage at the age of 12 performing semi-professionally. Yeah. And I was in a family band right through to the age of 20. Yeah. And we were quite well known actually in the Liverpool, Merseyside and Northern region. Yeah. We were called the Real McCoy. Right. It was a family group band. Yeah. And but I've always been interested. Oh, sorry about that. I dropped my pen, I bent down. I forgot his camera was there. No, I can't shoot me for it, can you? Anyway, So I've always been a musician. Yeah. And although I made a decision in my I had that short teaching career in my 20s. Yeah. And then when I decided to go into professional entertainment, I had to make a choice really, because it's difficult to mix magic and music. Yes. But although I went into magic full time, I decided to keep up with my songwriting for fun. Right. So and having said that, nowadays I do the occasional gig in local pubs and stuff. Yeah. So you still get your rocks off doing that. So what's this one? This is. Let me hold that. There's no apologise. Right. No apologies at all for showing this and for promoting it.
This is called I Would Fight for you, and what's it in aid of?
It is in aid of the Great Ormond Street Hospital in London, Children's Hospital.
And when did you release this?
This is not mine. This is a professionally released album which goes all over the world, actually, through various, I think it's the Barclays Bank, whichever country.
So what's your involvement in it?
I wrote 2 songs out of 15 and performed them in the studio, and they're on there.
Lovely. And have you sold many copies?
I think they've sold about 5,000 so far.
Very good.
But it was only released about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
That's brilliant, isn't
it? But it's every penny goes to the charity, and if any of your viewers would like a copy, they just need to go online at music4gosh.co.uk or musicforgosh.co.uk,
which is obviously Great Ormond Street.
Or even if they type in Great Ormond Street Charity, it'll come up there.
It should come up.
And they get 15 songs by 15 artists of original material for a £10 donation to the hospital.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, well, I wish you well with that.
So my 2 songs are I Want to Put My Arms Around You and Now That I've Found You.
Oh, lovely. Bit of romance there. Very nice. Now, you've shown you're doing your stuff there with the Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital, which is super. You've also worked in the States a lot with American teenagers, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah, and we'll talk a bit about that after the break. We're coming up to a quick break now. But you've also done a lot of motivational speaking.
Yes.
Have you enjoyed doing that, working with the teenagers?
In fact, it's something I'd like to pursue more now.
Yeah.
I left it alone for a few years, but it's something that I'm passionate about.
Okay, and do you feel you connect with teenagers?
Well, I do, yes. I think it's because I'm a high school teacher by training. I know it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I had those 4 years teaching
history, wasn't it?
History, yes, and some politics as well.
Yes.
And remember, I did get my credential in America.
Right.
And very often would find myself, often not for money, but just to keep in there, I'd do substitute work, supply teaching.
Yes.
And I was quite well known in my county, Marin County, in various high schools as the magic substitute. And I can tell, I don't know whether we're going to a break right now, but I can tell you how we went into how we got involved with the teenagers.
Oh, excellent. Well, because I'd like to hear how you got involved with the kids in America.
Yeah.
With the kids in America. Whoa. So, thank you, Danny. Went whoa down here. Right, keep it here. We'll see you in 2 minutes. Cruising with the Stars is brought to you by Tony West Entertainments. Cruising with the Stars is brought to you by Tony West Entertainments. Hi there, welcome back to our final bit of Cruising with the Stars, and I'm chatting to immensely, wonderfully talented Ian McCoy here, magician, mentalist, musician, the lot. And also motivational speaking. Now, you helped a lot of American teenagers when you lived in America with your motivational speaking. It's quite a responsibility, isn't it? And where do you get your motivation from to do it?
Well, as I say, once I got my credential, although I went into entertainment full-time, I did a little bit of supply work, so I got quite well known in some schools for doing the magic substitute.
Yeah.
But that gave me an in, and I had this idea of doing a motivational speech, and that tied in with the book as well that I wrote.
Right.
It was all the whole...
And that book was the one, the Magic in the Centre. Yeah.
And the speech is sort of about the motivation from the centre and tapping into the goodness that's in everybody.
Yeah.
Tapping into the spark that really drives everybody, if you can just find it, you know.
Yeah.
So the presentations that I put together were basically, like most motivational stuff, saying stuff that we all already know.
Yeah.
I suppose the nice twist is I threw in magic and mentalism within the show to draw the kids in.
Yeah.
But then I was asked by a headmaster to work in a jail, juvenile hall.
Ooh.
And that was a massive decision because they wanted 3 days a week. And I was used to doing 1 and 2 days when I wanted.
Yeah.
So this was a real job. I hadn't done a real job since I taught in England, you know. I'd been performing. So I loved it. I said, I'll
So you did it. So you were working in a detention centre.
3 years.
3 days a week for 3 years?
3 years.
Did you come across any cases that broke your heart?
Very much so.
And what were they based around mainly?
bad decision making, again getting back to the motivational stuff, bad choices, a lot of Hispanic, black and some Caucasian youngsters who had committed crimes, the obvious crimes, but some murderers, and the one that, a lot of them broke my heart, but I loved the job because they were just kids, and I used to go in there as a teacher, but throw in the magic all the time, get them on my side, and they loved the magic, and they'd listen to what I'd say.
Yeah.
You know, you think you're making you hope you're making a bit of a difference.
Do you know of any of them that actually came out and sort of was restored back to normal life?
We didn't have the follow-up at all as teachers, really, because it was prison. You know, it's not like a normal school, really.
No.
There were quite a few cases where kids who'd done bad things, you know, they'd done drugs or whatever, and they'd gone into the school system, and I'd met them afterwards, and they'd said, "Oh wow, you did such a great job with us in there."
So they were out of prison, back into education.
Yes.
So, God willing, they could have done well.
And the one that broke my heart was the murderer, and he wasn't a murderer. He was attacked and produced a knife and killed the guy.
Yeah.
He was 17, and he was a lovely lad. And I came in one day, and they said he's gone. They'd sent him to San Quentin, which is down the road.
Oh.
Believe it or not, San Quentin is one of the is the most notorious prison in a beautiful place, Marin County. And I cried because he was being sentenced as an adult, and he was 17, lovely lad, and he made the mistake of defending himself with a knife. Yeah. But he had the knife, so he was responsible in that sense.
This is a problem with knife crime. You carry a knife, you live by the knife.
But that's an example of something that really upset me. Yeah. But overall, it was a very positive experience.
You strike me as a very spiritual man who has, if you don't mind me saying, at some point in your life, lost your way spiritually a bit, or been hurt, or something's happened, and it's made you rail against it, and you've become an atheist, and then you became an agnostic from being a good Roman Catholic boy, and then you say you became a theist, you found God again. That's a hell of a story all in itself. Which God have you found?
I'm a Roman Catholic again.
Back to a Roman Catholic?
Yeah, I back to the faith.
So you did the full big circle?
Full circle, yeah.
And even when you say you're an atheist, which is a non-believer, you do not believe, and then you became an agnostic, which is someone that wishes you believed.
Yes.
But even when you were an atheist, do you think you were truly an atheist?
Oh, I was truly an atheist.
Were you?
I was a Richard Dawkins type atheist. Right. Rampant. Right. Trying to tell people that God didn't exist.
Yeah. And what was it that made, how did God get back into your life?
I think without a doubt it was a study of Marxism which turned me an atheist. Yeah. Marxism is a very interesting philosophy, and it's an atheistic philosophy. Yeah. I was in college. But then agnosticism crept in through teacher training, meeting a lot of believers. I was like, why are these scientists believers? Yeah. To me, science...
Well, Stephen Hawking's actually has...
I think there's a myth out there that scientists are atheists, but it's an absolute myth. Many scientists are believers. But the point is, by the time I became a theist, it was a purely cerebral, intellectual thing. It had nothing to do with faith. It was through reading philosophy. Yeah.
But have you found faith again?
Oh, yes. That's the next stage. That's when I became a Christian again. Yeah. The realisation that Christ is incarnate, God. Yeah. And then that takes right back to my Catholicism.
Well, I tell you what, that's a heck of a story. That is very interesting indeed. And you've also, I mean, you've obviously got your feet very grounded in, if I may say so, good things, and you're very interested in the planet. You've just launched an environmental website, and it's called Just for the Planet. So it's just, and then the number 4, the planet. And that reports on environmental conservation issues. Tell us a bit about that.
That's the brainchild mainly of my sister, who's an expert marketeer. Yeah. But she's very philanthropic. She's very interested in good causes. And we decided as a family, it was me, my brother and my sister, we put this thing together. And basically, it's shared between my sister on the marketing side, me on the writing, and my brother on the technical side.
What a lovely combination.
Yes, so we report on all things environmental.
What's your take on wind farms?
Wind farms? Well, wind power has grown exponentially in this country over the past 3 years. Yeah. Exponentially. And I'm in favour of any energy which is not fossil fuel. Yeah. So solar, wind,
Wave that's the
power
best
is a great one, yeah.
Wave,
but it's not just about energy, it's also about, we're very interested in biodiversity and animals and plants and that sort of thing, and endangered species. We're all animal lovers. We're also, some of the bigger issues like American politics. I mean, yesterday I wrote a story about the tar sands project in Canada, how they're pumping, or trying to, they want to pump oil from Canada thousands of miles into the west coast of America, but they're going through all sort of Native American lands. There's all sorts of harms to the environment. It's fossil fuel, and there's a big debate about that right now in America. But it could be as simple, a story, that could be one day, and the next day it could be about what light bulbs.
About squashing your milk bottles before you put them in the bin.
Exactly.
What take up less room. Tell me as well, that's, I mean, we've looked at the spirituality, we've looked at the environment. Back to the chase. What magicians inspired you, Ian?
My earliest memory is a guy called David Nixon, a British magician. He was a gentleman magician.
He was. Balding. He looked a bit like a monk.
But he was a very good magician. As a kid, obviously I wasn't a magician then, I was only 7, 8, 9. That's my memory. And he was a magician when I became first interested. Obviously Paul Daniels. People often take the mickey a bit out of Paul, but he's a brilliant magician.
Hey baby, look at him.
He's a brilliant magician.
Well indeed.
He's been a very influential magician on a lot of magicians. But I was mainly influenced by the Americans. A guy called Di Vernon, the father of modern magic. And people like modern magicians like Michael Lamar and David Williamson.
So you've had a lot of influence. And you, again, I mean, you're so diverse. You've entered new territory at the moment, musical theatre. That's been very interesting. Now you've got about 1 minute and 20 seconds to tell us about that, because this is so interesting. The Devil Rides Out, Dennis Wheatley. Brilliant.
The novel Devil Rides Out by Dennis Wheatley has been adapted by a friend of mine, Colin McCoy, great songwriter from Merseyside, and he has written a great musical version of this book, and Hammer movie, if I remember, in the 60s. I played the lead role as the Duke at the Richelieu. There are 5 or 6.
You're the goody.
I'm the goody. And another guy, great singer, Lloyd Sloan, plays McCarter, the baddie. The last time it was put on properly was about 12 years ago in Liverpool at the Neptune Theatre. And the lead female role was Bernie Nolan.
One of the wonderful sisters.
great voice. But we have Anne-Marie Hasler, who's a great singer from the Wirral, and she plays the lead female role.
So what inspired you? I mean, whose idea was it for this particular musical?
Well, it was Colin McCoy. He's the writer, and he decided he'd like to have another go at doing it. It was on about 10 years ago, as I say, and it was quite successful, but didn't get to the West End or anything. So he also asked me to co-produce the show with him. So I ended up auditioning a lot of the main characters, and so I was involved in the production as well.
So you've just got to find a good backer now.
Yes, and it will be taken to theatres through the year.
Just tell me, what is your website, your magical and...
Easy to remember, it's www.ianmccoy.com.
Dead easy, www.ianmccoy.com. Have a little look at it, it's brilliant. And it's been such a pleasure speaking to you.
It's been absolutely wonderful, Debbie. Absolutely wonderful.
And from me, Debbie Jones, till next time, take care. Cruising with the Stars is brought to you by Tony West Entertainments.